कल हम लोग लेक्चर में बात कर रहे थे रिगार्डिंग वेक्टर्स और द वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज. तो basically what we talked last time, that is the physical quantities on the basis of magnitude and direction are divided into two categories. One set of the quantities is only having the magnitude and no direction at all, just like there is a distance traveled by an object, mass of an object, temperature. So these quantities are known as scalars or the scalar quantities. There are some quantities which have magnitude, direction, and which obey the laws of vectors. We call the quantities as the vectors or the vector quantities. The last lecture we talked about the various types of the vectors, and we also talked about the vector algebra. We talked about the addition of the vectors. So, अगर आपको याद हो तो हम लोगों ने मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ रिजल्टेंट एक्सप्रेशन निकाली इन केस ऑफ ट्रायंगल और इन केस ऑफ पैरेललोग्राम लॉ ऑफ वेक्टर्स. तो मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ रिजल्टेंट इज इक्वल टू मॉड ऑफ ए स्क्वायर प्लस बी स्क्वायर प्लस 2ab cos of theta. Yeah, where a and b are the two vectors and theta is the angle between them. Just like, for example, this is vector A, this is vector B, and let's call the two vectors are inclined to each other by some angle theta. So, in my last lecture we talked, if this is the condition of the vectors, how we can add them. There is one rule, my students, in your syllabus, that parallelogram law. In parallelogram law, if two vectors represent the adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the resultant is given by the diagonal of the parallelogram. So, this is the resultant, and last time mathematically we calculated that magnitude of the resultant is equal to this much. Not only this, we have also derived the expression for the direction of the resultant. Let beta be the angle that resultant subtends with vector A. So, last time we derived equation tan of beta is equal to, that is B of sin theta divided by A plus B of cos theta. Yeah. So, with the help of this equation we can calculate the magnitude of the resultant, and with the help of this equation we can calculate the direction of the resultant. Let's talk about some of the special cases. Then we'll be talking about some of the numericals which you will be asked in your NEET and the JEE examinations. So, if theta is equal to 0, so this is the special case. So can you tell me what the vectors are known as? Theta is equal to 0 means the two vectors are acting in the same direction, or the two vectors are parallel to each other, just like this. This is vector A, this is vector B. So, students, here theta is equal to 0, and these vectors are known as collinear vectors. Yeah. So, let's talk about it. If theta is 0, what will happen to the magnitude of the resultant, and what will happen to the direction of the resultant? What will be the direction? Okay. So, magnitude of resultant will be equal to root of, yeah, this is A square plus B square plus 2ab cos of 0. Since cos 0 is equal to 1, so this is equal to A square plus B square plus 2ab. Yeah, this is formula and can be written as A plus B whole square. So, square and root will go. So, finally we can write here resultant is equal to A plus B. Okay. Zara idhar dekh lo, if this is vector A, this is vector B. So, what we will do, we will draw a vector equal in magnitude to the first vector A. Then we will join the tail of second vector with the head of first, and we will draw a vector in the same direction of the same magnitude. Yeah. So if we are drawing a vector from initial position of first to the final point of second, what we will get? Yeah, we will get the resultant. And that resultant is equal to, yeah, vector A plus vector B. Look towards this equation. R is equal to A plus B. If theta is equal to 0. Now the direction of the resultant. For the direction of the resultant, we will make use of this equation. So tan of beta is equal to, yeah, that is B sine of theta, that is 0, divided by A plus B cos of 0. Since sine of 0 is 0, multiplied by B is 0, divided by anything is 0, so this is 0. Tan of beta is equal to 0. So कब होता है tan 0? बोलिएगा ना? हाँ, yes. So that is tan of 0. Tan and tan will go. So beta is equal to 0. Beta is equal to 0 means the resultant is in the direction of the vectors. That is clear from this figure. If A and B are in the same direction, the resultant is also having the direction of the vectors. And that information we are getting from this, that beta is equal to 0. So, next, if theta is 90, what do you understand by this, that theta is 90? Yeah. This means the two vectors are perpendicular. Yeah. ये आ गया इधर, the two vectors are perpendicular. So perpendicular vectors में हमें निकालना है what is magnitude and direction of the resultant. So magnitude of resultant will be equal to, yeah, that is equal to root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos of 90. Yeah. So that is equal to root of sinus cos of 90 is 0. So that is equal to root of A square plus B square. Yeah, please remember the magnitude of resultant in case of the perpendicular vectors is equal to root of A square plus B square. And direction of resultant, we'll get it from this equation. So tan of beta is equal to B sine of 90, perpendicular vectors की बात हो रही है, divided by A plus B cos of 90. Since sine of 90 is 1, so that is B divided by A plus B cos of 90 is 0, that is 0, that is B by A. So B A हो गया, we can write it, it is Y component divided by X component. Yeah. So remember this equation. These are the final equations. With the help of these equations, we can calculate what is the magnitude and direction of resultant in case of triangle or in case of the parallelogram law. Let's talk about one special question. Okay, if two forces ले लीजिए, if two forces, तो आप different books में and different study materials में इनका different values देख सकते हैं. For example, Gomer and Gogiak has used it if two forces of 4 Newton each are inclined to each other by some angle, this angle will vary. Okay, you try with one angle with me, let the angle be 60. Okay, be ready. Two forces of 4 Newton each are acting on a part